Good morning, everyone. Christian Duke, MD Noble Weekly, episode 32, brought to you courtesy of IronMagLabs.com, your go-to source for all your bodybuilding and fitness supplements, as well as muscle gels, topical muscle enhancement gels available at MuscleGels.com. Be sure to check out Andro Shred, one of my personal favorites. This bad boy will get you shredded for the summer. Today is Wednesday, January 24th, and one of the first things I want to talk about is my recent trip to Atlanta, Georgia. I went to the Atlanta Kiss Expo. Vinnie Vincent, the Ankh Warrior, just decided out of obscurity of 20 years to come out and just rock the house, okay? This is a guy that brought Kiss back to life in the 80s with the Vinnie Vincent Invasion, two amazingly successful records, The Score to Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and so much more. It was just, just crazy. I had to be there. I made the trek. We stayed a weekend at the Spring Hill Marriott, and I got to be honest with you, the first morning we were having breakfast, and this guy kept staring at me, and it was the craziest thing because I'm in Kiss mode. There's Kiss fans everywhere. The night before we ate it on the border, Kiss fans. This guy keeps staring at me, and I wasn't gonna make a big deal about it, so I just kept eating. He approaches us. He apologizes for interrupting our meal. He's got his lady with him, and he's like, "Are you the guy from MD?" I swear to you, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Strike me down right now. He said, "Are you the guy from MD Noble Weekly?" I'm like, "I'm that guy." And I'm expecting, you always expect the possibility of, it being a hater or it being something negative or whatnot. And he just said, "Listen, I really like what you do. I respect what you do. I don't agree with you all the time, but I really like it." His English was a little bit broken, and I could tell he was Hispanic, but I wasn't about to speak to him in Spanish because that would have sent the message like, "Hey, bro, your English sucks. Let me speak to you in Spanish." So I didn't do that. His name is Ernesto. He does not do social media from what he told me. He was there with his wife, Rosario, who does. Rosario hopefully get Ernesto to get on social media and leave a comment below here at Muscular Development on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you may see this. Because honestly, I really liked you guys. Rosario wasn't really feeling the whole thing because obviously she was not a bodybuilding fan, but Ernesto was, and it was cool. It's always cool to meet nice people. So again, I really appreciate it, and you just made the trip all the much better because I met these folks Saturday morning, and the expo was, later Saturday, 11 a.m. We didn't get out there until like 9 o'clock at night. So that really made things, really memorable. And if you have the photo, you have my permission, put it up on social media. Have a blast with that, and thanks again. So today I want to talk about a feud going on. There's a lot of folks here, arguing, and, it's an interesting situation. And, today is Wednesday, January 24th, and you're more than likely going to continue hearing about this well into February because it is just such a high stake, celebrity type feud. I mean, we've got on one side, we've got Jason Blaha, we've got Johnny Bravo, we've got Marc Lobliner, we've got Kali Muscle. There's just so many folks involved. And I'm not here really to talk about the news per se as much as I am to talk about the divisions within social media where the fans of each respective superstar are sort of waging a separate war unto itself. You know what I mean? And it's very fascinating from a news perspective. I joined Greg the Ramblin' Freak Valentino tonight, or actually last night, a couple nights ago, over on his Instagram live show on Instagram. Iron Mag Labs is what I meant to say. And he discussed this very topic. And really, it's crazy because the feud between Marc Lobliner and Johnny Bravo has gone on for a long time. There was a feud between, Jason Genova and Marc Lobliner. There's ongoing tit for tat between Johnny Bravo and Kali Muscle, over again some supplements and this or that, some contracts, which again I could not do justice to that story. You'd almost have to watch all of their channels and come to your own conclusion. But the fact is that we've got four of the most popular social media personalities, just dug in for a long battle. And I think that I would be remiss as your resident social media expert, pundit / correspondent if I did not talk about that. So only time will tell what will happen, but it's certainly something to have you at the edge of your seat. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about, a lot of the speculation dealing with Regan Grimes. Now, Regan went, well, actually, let's tell it as it is. Regan left the side of Chris, the technician Aceto, who is a, sometime very good contest prep coach, part-time, handicapper, part-time journalist, part-time show host with Dave Jumbo Palumbo over at the fledgling rxmuscle.com. He left Chris Aceto and went to the Camel Crew to join Badr Budai, and, I was a little uncomfortable with his quote-unquote gains in Kuwait, thinking that he had blown out his lines and blown out a lot of that symmetry and proportion that, initially drew me to being a fan of his in the first place. Well, he has left Badr Budai and Oxygen Gym, and the rumor is he's going to Classic Men's Physique, which I think is a breath of fresh air, because in all honesty, this is a guy who's got a phenomenal physique, and he doesn't need to play the size game. Let other people play the size game. This could be, this generation's Bob Paris, and do even better than Bob ever did, and I just think it would be a shame to see him just become another mass monster. There's really nothing all that glamorous about that in my book. The Arnold Classic is getting closer. Everybody has a lot of, everybody's just so excited to see the Muscle Gels booth and to see Greg the Ramblin' Freak Valentino. Chris Goon Griffin has got a brand new show called Down and Dirty, which is available at youtube.com/IronMagLabs, as well as IronMagLabs.com and MuscleGels.com. I really, really encourage you to watch that. It's a great new series. Rick Drazen, of course, tips from Rick, and Dave Goyce with Superhero Strong, in addition to my breaking news and Greg Valentino Weekly Rants and Greg Valentino Live. It's really a great, arsenal of programs over at IronMagLabs.com that you do not want to miss. And of course, we have IronMagazine.com, which there are thousands of all original articles with great authors talking about nutrition, supplementation, and bodybuilding current events that you also do not want to miss. So, there's a lot of stuff going on as we speak. And I think also something that, I would be remiss if I did not talk about is the fact that Bob Ciccarillo, who I have a lot of respect for and who has done a lot for the IFBB Pro League and the NPC, has come under a little bit of fire from some other websites. And I'm not here to really take a side. I am here to take a side. I will take a side. I am a IFBB Pro League supporter, and I am a supporter of Bob's. And I think right now we find ourselves, in some uncertain waters because, there is a civil war going on. For as much as people would like to say there's not, for as much as people would like to say that, these splits don't affect athletes, they do. They do. And you will see not only overseas, but right here in our own United States, some competitions that have some folks confused as to what exactly competing in those events will do and what qualifications those shows will suit for. And education is very important, and that's why I invite folks to log on to NPC News Online, familiarize yourself and stay up to date with all the NPC and IFBB Pro League rules. If you're on Facebook, I invite you to join my group, facebook.com/groups/I love the NPC. You can talk to officials, you can talk to judges, you can talk to competitors, you can talk to sponsors, and you can talk to the media at that group. Only 1,700 members. I got to tell you, usually I have anywhere from 20 to 30 folks trying to apply. If I let one in a day, it's too much. I'm really not looking to play the numbers game. It's a great club if you're interested. But the reality of the matter is that a lot of the folks that are supporting are coming under some attack and some criticism, and that is why we have a support club. And I got to tell you something. If you want to compete with the best, if you want to have a road to the Mr. Olympia, which is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, which is the only show on this rock called Earth that determines the number one greatest bodybuilder, physique competitor, fitness competitor, figure competitor, classic men's physique competitor and bikini competitor, then you must compete with the IFBB Pro League. There is simply no other where to go, no other place to go. And who would want to compete in a second or third tier federation? Who would want to compete and say, I got a pro card, when the pro card doesn't mean squat? It's not going to open doors for you. It's not going to lead you to the Mr. Olympia. It's not going to have you compete against the best. It's just a piece of cardboard that's not worth the paper it's printed on, in my humble opinion. So again, guys, I really, really urge you to educate yourselves, to reflect prior to pulling the trigger. In other words, to reflect prior to making any drastic decisions, and stay the course. Because, while it may take longer, while it may be more competitive, while there may be more hurdles, when you get the IFBB Pro League Pro card, it's all worth it. It all makes sense. So invest in yourself, have the vision, the commitment, the discipline to see through, to see your goals to the end. Sometimes, it makes sense. I understand. Listen, I've gotten a lot of folks telling me, oh, but this and that, and they're promising this and that, and other federations. And honestly, guys, you just, again, have to be true to yourselves. You have to be true to yourselves, and you have to be true to everything that you've worked hard for. And it's not just you. It's your family, it's your significant others, it's your coaches, it's your fellow teammates. It's your time in the sport. Okay? If everyone could have a pro card, it wouldn't mean anything. Okay? So look at a Vinny Galante, look at a Bob Ciccarello, look at a Jerome Ferguson. Okay? Look at them. Look at my good friend Joe Thomas, who on a multitude of years placed one placing away from getting a pro card. He never complained. He never blamed it on politics. He never even thought of jumping ship. He stayed the course. And guess what? He has an IFBB Pro League Pro card as we speak. And he's a superstar. He's got sponsors fighting over him. Every year at the Arnold Classic, hey, Joe, how many sponsors you got? It's always half a dozen. Why? Because he stayed the course. Because he got the only pro card that means anything. There's only one. And that is the IFBB Pro League Pro card. Thanks for watching. See you next week.